Alright folks, you interrupted me trying to get on, starting to work out and stuff so I could give you this video. I was just thinking to myself at work, and I made a correlation. There's a law in the firearms world, laws that certain states apply to or hold to, called the stand your ground law. Now this says it in a self-defense scenario, you ever have to use your firearm, you have to use lethal force, all 9 yards, all that stuff, fear for your life, all that stuff comes into play, then you have the right to stay where you are and to deal with the threat. Now, this might seem common sense because, we have the natural inborn right as human beings to protect ourselves, but there are a bunch of states that have a duty to retreat law or something like that, which means if you are attacked and it is clear that the person wants to do you harm or kill you, or all the above, you have a duty to back away and try to run away from the threat. You have a duty to retreat, which is completely insane to me, saying, okay, you have to be prey before you try to protect yourself. Let's try to get eaten before we protect ourselves. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. But the animal kingdom doesn't work that way. Why should we? But, since some states have that duty to retreat law, most states, there are a lot of states like my home state of Georgia that has stand your ground laws, so legally protecting you. If you have to use lethal force to protect yourself, you have the right to stand your ground and deal with the threat. Now, I keep looking in the way our world's working and how, spiritually speaking and all, the Christians have been under attack for a long time. We do make up the majority. Don't let anybody fool you. Christians make up the majority of America because America was founded to be as a Christian nation, and it should stay that way. Now, there are people who will disagree with me, but they have the First Amendment right to be wrong, so I'll let them have their opinion. Last time I made that comment, it got me in a lot of trouble, but I don't really care. But I wanted to say this to you too, to my fellow Christians out there. Just like those of us in the firearms world have the stand your ground laws, as long as you're in freedom-loving states, you have the stand your ground law that says if you have to use your firearm in self-defense, you have the right to stand your ground and protect yourself. As we have that legal protection to do so, I want to encourage you you have the spiritual duty to stand your ground. Somebody comes at you and asks you, why are you being such a homophobe? Why are you so scared of these Islamic terrorists? Why do you hate abortion? Or they attack you all these legal issues, all these social issues. Don't back down. You do not have a duty to retreat. You do not have to back off. Do not be ashamed of being a Christian. Stand your ground and defend your faith. Tell them why you think the way you do. Explain to them why it's wrong, why the Bible says it's wrong, and the whole 9 yards and all that. But don't back down. You do not have a duty to retreat. God tells you to stand your ground. You do not have to retreat at all. It might be unpopular. It might get you fired. I was fired once for religious purposes. That's a long story. I won't go into it here. But I keep getting myself off track, and it's hard to get myself back on. But don't back down. Just because somebody attacks you as being judgmental, or all the attacks that us Christians get, you do not have to back down. Stand your ground, defend your faith, defend your morals. You have a better leg to stand on than they do. Because our arguments of holding to the Bible and God's teaching, we have a universal code of morals and standards. They have their opinion against yours. You have a stronger moral and logical leg to stand on than they do. Don't let them fool you. So, I want to remind you, in both the firearms world and in the spiritual realm, to stand your ground. You do not have to back down. Stand your ground to defend your faith, defend your life, the whole 9 yards. And with that, I'll remind you to walk a Christian walk and carry a loaded Glock. Yippity button.